Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin here with producer slash co-host Kade, the kid Orris. Kade, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Got a few hairs cut yesterday, so looking sharp.
Few.
Yeah, just a few hairs were cut from my head. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I have a wedding at the end of September, and I wanted to schedule my haircut like the week before, so I'm looking all sharp and clean for the big day.
Yeah, you need like a good solid 5 to 9 days before the haircut is in full bloom.
Right.
And you look your best.
Yeah, so our haircut lady, she texted me. It's like, hey, I can't do like the time that we had scheduled. Can you do like this week? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, my hair was like already getting like crazy long. I'm like, let me just like get this out of the way now, So I booked it for yesterday, got it done, and yeah, feel great.
Wedding's in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, in September.
Yeah, so I'll be looking
really good.
You'll still be in the zone.
Yeah, exactly.
In the maximum
where it looks
swag
its
zone.
best. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm about to exit it. I got my hair cut a few weeks ago, and the second it starts creeping over my ears is when the bad times are coming.
Yeah.
So I have to keep an eye on that. But right now I'm still in the zone.
Yeah, no,
It's huge for me too.
So the little hairs by my ears, it was just getting crazy, and I never know what to do with my hair, how to style it. I kind of just I'll get it wet sometimes, and I'll comb it and all that, and I'm just all right, whatever happens. And a lot of times I wear a hat now, just I'll let the lettuce flow in the back and wear a hat, so I'm covering everything else.
I always envy dudes who know what to do with their hair and have multiple options to choose from. The best example maybe of any living man is Barrett Dudley, my co-host on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. I've seen this dude rock 40 different hairstyles in the 20 years I've known him. And he'll do several different hairstyles a year.
Yeah, no, Barrett has really good hair. He knows what he's doing.
It's not even just about having good hair, which he has good hair. I'm not saying he doesn't have good hair, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's the important part. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I have good hair, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Nobody taught me. I don't know where you even learn. It's just this is the case with a lot of things in life, but you either have an inherent ability to understand or you don't. And I simply do not.
Yeah. And so I had to ask our haircut lady yesterday, I'm looking to style it a little bit more and so I have more control over it. And she recommended what products to use and all that.
I went through this phase with her a few years ago. Yeah.
And I've used products in the past, but I've never I don't know what really to use or what works for my hair. So it's just it's a learning process for me.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I'm still using the one she recommended for me several years ago.
Nice.
And the only thing I can pass on to you wisdom-wise is that with those hair products, there are different levels of different strengths.
Right.
So if you really want more control over your hair, you go with a stronger one that really keeps that shit in place. But if it's just you're just trying to get something in there in the way of shape.
Yeah, I just want some texture to it. And all that. Yeah.
Then you go with the less
she said
hardcore one.
To get something creamy. So
See?
Cool.
See, it's
what does that
okay.
mean? So I gotta look for creamy hair products, I guess.
Just Google that.
Yeah, creamy hair products.
It's a journey. It's a journey, a lifelong journey.
Yeah,
as a man,
still trying to figure it all out.
To understand your hair and what the hell to do with it. And as soon as I've made I got pretty confident there a few years ago when I finally got my shit together. But now I'm back in a place where I feel like I'm stale.
That's where I'm at too. I feel I just don't know what to do with it. It's I don't know if the flow has lost its luster. Yeah.
Yeah, when I went in there and asked her last time, I talked about it. I can't remember if it was on Patreon or our public show, but I was like, what should I do with my hair, this haircut? And she was like, what the hell do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean, what do I mean? You're the haircut lady. You know stuff and things that you could share, could perhaps guide me in the correct direction. And when I told her, maybe I should be slicking it back. And she was like, nah, that's just going to make your head look even longer.
Yeah, no,
And I was like, what?
you don't have the hair that'll slick back real nice.
The fuck does that mean? My head is long? She insulted me in response to me having questions about what I should do with my hair next. So I walked out of there with the exact same haircut as the time before and the time before and the 100 times that preceded that. And I'm just stuck now. And when I asked everybody for recommendations, the only thing anybody said was, you should get a fucking modern mullet.
Yeah.
Which I'm not doing.
No, not happening.
Too many white boys with modern mullets these days. And I refuse to blend in. This haircut that I currently have, it makes me stand out.
For sure, absolutely.
It's out
No one
there.
has that haircut.
Nobody has
Never
this
seen
fucking
anyone
haircut.
with that haircut before.
Nobody except me has this haircut that I invented. This is, it's only me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so like, we have the Boosie fade, and now we have the Ross fade.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck this is. Kade, did you see Shannon Sharpe's Instagram live fiasco? And let me rephrase. Did you see it before I brought it up to you?
Yes, and like, granted, there really wasn't much to see, but I did hear a lot of things.
You heard things.
I heard things, yeah.
So the gist of it is that Shannon Sharpe, one of the greatest tight ends in the history of the NFL, who after his 14 seasons in the league retired and became a prominent member of like the sports media world, accidentally, and I'm doing air quotes around that word, went live on Instagram right before committing coitus, which means he was fucking. It's a fancy way of saying that. And as Kade said, you couldn't see the fucking. You could only hear it.
You can only hear the fucking.
And we'll get to why, but important details. He has 3.2 million followers on the platform. So this went out to a lot of people. And typically, for those of you who have experience with Instagram, know up there where it shows people's Instagram stories, if somebody is live, it is the first thing. If somebody you follow is live, they really want people to tune into that shit. So it takes priority. It's top left. It's right there. So I would, assume the bulk majority of his 3.2 million followers that were online were aware that Shannon Sharpe was live.
Do you follow him on
I do
Instagram?
not.
Okay.
I do
Because I was
not.
about to ask, like, maybe like one, like, I don't know if he like goes live a lot. So like,
No, he's never gone live before.
so like seeing him go live, that like was probably like a red flag for like a lot of people. Like, oh, what's like Shannon Sharpe up to?
Right.
What's he doing?
And a lot of people tuned in as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And the comment, you're watching somebody on Instagram Live, you can comment.
Right.
And the comments are just like, what is Unk doing?
What is Unk?
Unk is smashing right now. And as a part of the story, like, he's a 56-year-old man, which actually, it made me feel good. Because when you get into like your mid to late 30s, like where I'm at, or at least this is the case for me, you start to wonder, like, how many more years at the top of my sex game do I have? Because you've been at
Been out
you're no
for a
spring
while.
chicken anymore. And it made me feel good for the future that Shannon Sharpe at 56 years old is still out there getting it.
Well, maybe he had a Blue Chew or something beforehand.
Actually, on his own podcast, he did end up making jokes about one of the men's fertility products that's their sponsor as a result of this. But it was not Blue Chew, unfortunately. So that means he probably didn't have a Diamond Rock Hard boner, which copyright trademark. Yeah, so you can't see any sex occurring. Like the live starts, and it seems like, as an investigator, I've uncovered this. It seems like he's on the bed.
Yeah.
And then the phone kind of slides off the bed and makes its way to the floor, is what I am perceiving as I watch this thing unfold and listen to it. So you can't see, but you can hear, and it's him banging some woman named Michelle, which you can tell because he says things like, "That's my Michelle," while he is inside of her, presumably. And so he's calling her Michelle. She's calling him Papa. Not the more traditional Poppy.
Yeah. Or like Daddy.
Papa, which I've never heard used before. And it reminds me of like the Berenstain Bears. So I don't know what that's about. It's a little weird. Maybe it's a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Papa is what she was calling him. A strange alternative to Daddy that I would personally not prefer. Weirded me out. But yeah, it's very, very clearly him.
Right.
Like when you, and if you're like, Ross, how do you know where you don't even follow him on Instagram? You weren't watching the live. No, I was on Twitter/X, where immediately people were screen recording the Instagram live and posting the footage. And it was all over my fucking feed.
Oh yeah, that's all I saw yesterday.
Like,
was jokes about Shannon Sharpe.
And I was on to like the 5 minutes after it happened, like I was seeing it was immediate. But yeah, you can tell it's Shannon Sharpe just from the few sentences that he gets out of his mouth. Like, he has such a distinct voice. And as it was unfolding, I'm kind of watching going like, yeah, he's definitely going to say he was hacked.
Right, which is like every celebrity move when like something like this happens, like where they post something they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
They always claim they got hacked.
If you fuck up on social media, you just claim you were hacked.
Yeah.
That's the protocol. Everybody does it. In this case, kind of a ridiculous thing to claim, but we'll get to that. During the video, he's breathing really heavily, and the woman is like moaning, and he has a couple of like dirty talk lines. He's like, other than that's my Michelle. He's like, you're gonna take that dick. It's very like 1990s softcore porn comedy, but yeah, it's all over in about like 2 minutes.
Just a quickie.
Concluding when he climaxes, presumably, because he is growling like a bear. He's like, like he really. It's like, I'm not exaggerating. It's just like
spot on.
It's just like that, and yeah, one of the things this came up, as I said, on his podcast last night. That hours after it occurred. And Chad Ochocinco, his co-host on, I think it's called Nightcap, his podcast that he does with Chad Johnson, the man formerly known as Chad Johnson, now Chad Ochocinco. Chad was like, yeah, Unc, you kind of only went at it for like 2 minutes there. And Shannon Sharpe tried to claim that, in fact, he had been banging for over 20 minutes before the Instagram Live started.
Of course.
Which is just fucking hilarious because it's like... No, you fucking weren't. No, you did. You clearly you were like on your phone or had your phone or were on Instagram or were pulling up Instagram and
That's
like
crazy being on social media mid-fight.
Yeah, like and then this started like it was. Anyway, I'm not Minuteman shaming Shannon Sharpe. Just to be clear,
No, it happens.
I'm just saying I think he lied.
Yeah,
I think he lied, and this was a short sesh, which is sometimes you're pressed for time or whatever. It was the middle of the fucking day. Which again,
yeah, he had to be on like First Take or something later.
He was like probably going to be on the air in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, afterward, he takes to social media, immediately claims he was hacked. He said, beware, my @ShannonSharpe84 Instagram was hacked this morning. He says this on Instagram and tags himself. Which just furthers the evidence that he absolutely
was not hacked
absolutely did this by accident. And he said, my team and I are working vigorously to figure this out. And then he signed it, as he does his posts, Unc. Refers to himself as Unc, which is another
yeah, I'm kind of surprised she didn't call him Unc in the video. Like,
yeah, right?
Papa
Everybody else calls him Unc.
Yeah.
Why isn't she calling him Unc? Papa, what the fuck? But yeah, so he puts this post up saying he was hacked, and then like a couple minutes later, I think somebody was like, Shannon, A, nobody cares. B, nobody believes this.
Right.
And so he deleted it, which just made it even funnier. So yeah, then he goes on Nightcap, his podcast last night with Chad, and he comes clean saying, quote, obviously I'm embarrassed, someone that is extremely, extremely private, and to have one of your most intimate details, the audio, heard for the entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. Now, I just want to pick this apart for a second because extremely, extremely private, huh? I don't think anybody in the media can claim that, bro. Like, he's on TV every day.
Right.
He has multiple podcasts that he does. Club Shay Shay gets millions and millions and millions of views. I would not personally claim, if I was in his shoes, that I lived a very private life. I can't even claim that as like a small podcaster.
I feel like I can't even claim that.
That's a crazy thing to say. He does not live a private life. He goes on to say there are a lot of people that count on Shannon, and yes, he is referring to himself in the third person, to be professional at all times, and I always try to be professional at all times, even when I'm behind closed doors. I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities, but for the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself. I let a lot of people down. I don't agree with any of this either necessarily. I do find it hilarious that he refers to engaging in sexual intercourse as engaging in activities.
Yeah, just say you were fucking, man.
Generic activities. Like as if it's like a partial denial almost that was what was happening. He says, I threw my phone on the bed, engaged in an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on, so I don't know how it works. And all of a sudden, my other phone started going off, which just makes this all the better. So he's got one phone, slides off the bed on the ground, live on Instagram for 3.2 million people to enjoy. And while that phone is broadcasting to the world the sounds of his lovemaking, the other phone won't stop vibrating on the dresser because people are trying to get a hold of him like, Shannon, you're fucking live on Instagram right now, bro. And he's like, what's with wonder what's going on? Must have been a big trade in the NFL. Yeah. You know what I mean? He probably thinks it's like some sports news. He says, my phone wasn't hacked. It wasn't a prank. It was me being a healthy, active male.
What kind of prank would that be?
I don't know. I also don't know what it has to do with being a healthy, active male.
Yeah.
But
we get it. Yeah, you can fucking lay the pipe, I guess. Like
when you're old, you're 56 and you still got it going on. Great. But yeah, just hilarious quotes from him. And the headlines are equally incredible. Like one of the concerns was that ESPN would be upset with this and discipline him or something.
Because they had that Paul Pierce incident. It's a very similar situation.
Right. But Paul Pierce going live on Instagram, famously, if you're unaware, Paul Pierce, a Hall of Fame NBA player, world champion member of the Boston Celtics with him and Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. Paul Pierce is a degenerate. It turns out, which I never would have I didn't know that much about Paul Pierce, but I follow the NBA pretty, heavily, and I have my whole life. So I was very familiar with Paul Pierce. I was not familiar with Paul Pierce's off-the-court game, which it turns out is just degenerate. And he went live in a hotel room in Las Vegas with a bunch of strippers. And this was when he was working at ESPN.
Yeah, he was on NBA Today and all that.
He got fired as a result of this Instagram Live where it was basically just him doing a selfie video with strippers twerking on him and him playing dice. It is the greatest Instagram Live of all time. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend just Google Paul Pierce Instagram Live and it will be the first thing that pops up and you can enjoy that footage. But yeah, Paul Pierce got fired over that. So, and in fairness, he was being a little derogatory in the video. But Shannon Sharpe did not get fired over this. First headline from TMZ, Shannon Sharpe won't face discipline from ESPN over sex stream. The sex stream. From USA Today, Shannon Sharpe apologizes for viral Instagram Live sex broadcast. And then The Hollywood Reporter, Shannon Sharpe admits to lying about phone hack after sex act goes live on Instagram. And I'm kind of bummed that nobody else worked engaging in activities into their headline. But
they straight up said it. He was having sex.
He was fucking.
Now,
a lot of the conversation surrounding this is whether or not he did it on purpose. To go viral and promote his shows like Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, I guess it's called. Both of those just sound like they could be porn shows in and of themselves. And frankly, it would be a genius self-promotional move. I've already seen multiple people in the content space go live on Instagram and fake sex in the background since he did this.
Oh, okay.
Just to get clicks and views and, laughs and retweets and whatnot.
But I feel I don't know, it doesn't feel like this was something he thought of beforehand. It really felt like it happened on accident.
And that's where, I don't go live on Instagram. It's not a thing I do. I don't know if I've ever done it. If I have, it was years and years ago when they first put that feature into the platform. Certainly never while I was in the midst of engaging in activities. But before we started recording, I was like, all right, how easy is it to go live? And literally, you just pull up Instagram, you go to the to make a post button, the one the plus sign at the bottom.
Not the story.
I think you can go that route.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see
No.
that.
You just do your regular post. You hit the plus button, and on the far right, which you can scroll over to very easily by accident, is live. And when you press it, it immediately starts a countdown from 3 to 2 to 1, and then you are live. It's not like, are you sure you want to go live on Instagram? It just fucking goes. And so I tend to believe him that this was like a total accident. I think it would have been very easy to be on Instagram, maybe about to make a post, suddenly Michelle comes on to you.
But if he was like fucking for 20 minutes prior.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Okay.
It was just a short sesh, or a quickie as they are known, with some growling involved and some papa. But yeah, it, shit like this happens every once in a while. It's been a minute since we had a celebrity accidentally go live on Instagram and bang, though. And frankly, it could have been a lot worse for him. That camera lands at the wrong angle.
Yeah, you see the whole thing.
And then he might be getting fired.
Seen a little too much of Ankh.
Because you've broadcast pornography, which is also against Instagram's terms. You're probably getting your account deleted, or at the very least suspended by them. And ESPN's going to have a harder time looking away from, if it was like a close-up of your asshole while you bang or whatever. So yeah, it was a pretty funny saga to watch unfold yesterday. Look, here's why I love it so much. Nobody got hurt.
Right.
It's two consenting adults doing their thing behind closed doors. It just so happens that they accidentally were live on Instagram to millions of people. And frankly, the views on this thing, or listens technically, have to be in the tens of millions at this point, because it's been redistributed all over X and all over Instagram, and it's funny. But because nobody got hurt, and it's also actually just literally funny listening to him bang, because it's so it's exactly what you would expect if you're familiar with Shannon Sharpe. Yeah. Exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, that's how he gets down, yeah.
And just to close this segment, this man is on one hell of a run, media-wise. He had the Cat Williams thing, right?
Yep, that blew up.
I think it became the most viewed podcast interview in history, or something insane like that, hundreds of millions of views. Club Shay Shay was already doing well before that. I hate saying the name of his show.
Club Shay Shay, yeah.
So much. But yeah, it's Club Shay Shay, for those who are unfamiliar, it's basically one-on-one interviews with other celebrities, people in the sports world, but also not. Famous actors and actresses and comedians, and Cat Williams being the most prominent one, or at least the most famous interview, because Cat Williams said all types of crazy shit, man. He was fucking going off. And they drink. They tend to be drinking. I think they have
drinking Hennessy.
They've got Hennessy on the table.
Yeah. And he's got his Black and Milds too.
Yeah. And it's kind of awkward because he's obviously not a journalist. Right. So it's a laid back conversation, but also he does ask kind of hard hitting questions sometimes. And he's just a big awkward fucking former NFL player. So it's something else. But yeah, between that and I've seen more and more of his Chad Ochocinco show clips going on Instagram and on Twitter with Nightcap. And frankly, he's a very entertaining dude. He also has pretty good sports takes. He's still on, some of the NFL coverage for ESPN.
Yeah, is he doing First Take? I feel like they have him on sometimes, but no, he was on the show with Skip Bayless, and then he left.
Yeah, famously, him and Skip Bayless had a falling out, I guess, eventually.
Yeah. And then he went to First Take, but I feel like I never see him on there. So I don't know what he's doing with the ESPN a whole lot.
Well, so I think in June of this year, they signed him to a new deal, ESPN did. It says it expands his role on First Take. So maybe before he was a pretty minimal member of the show, and now he's going to be a more prominent member. But that's with Stephen A. Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, God. That's going to be hilarious when they have him on. Stephen A. is just going to...
He may not even bring it up, though.
You don't think? Yeah, because it's ESPN. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know if they would smile.
Probably
on that.
Before the show, he's just
dude,
cracking
Stephen
jokes.
A. was probably one of the people blowing his phone up.
Oh, for sure.
I'm trying to remember on Nightcap. Oh, it was Cat Williams. He said the first person who called him after he finished, no pun intended, was Cat Williams, and he answered the phone, and Cat said, well, you ain't gay today. Because one of the other reasons people thought Shannon might have done this on purpose is because he regularly gets accused of being like a closeted gay man.
Really?
I think just because of the way he talks and his lisp and stuff, which is obviously
I never thought that once.
And stereotypical. But anyway, the point is, people thought like, oh, it finally got to him, all these accusations, so he went live. But if you were gonna do like just the audio doesn't do anything. I had a dude in my Twitter mentions, because I was tweeting about this, I'm obviously very into it, saying that he thinks the whole thing was AI, and I was like, bro, what do you mean, dog? Like, what? Like, shout out to at VaderX5000, who I argued with about this today. But he said, that's AI, man. And I was like, you said the audio in his IG Live is AI? And he said, a recording of some type, sir. I get it, but in my opinion, that's a deflection and content for the podcast. Great content regardless. I'm like, oh my God. Our world is so twisted up now with everything being content that people can't even believe. And I don't blame them. Like, frankly, it's hard to believe anything you see, but when I hear real fucking, I know it.
You know when people are actually fucking.
When it's real versus when it's not, you know. The only thing lacking in this audio clip is more skin-on-skin smacking. That's the only...
Yeah, didn't hear any cheeks clapping.
There's not cheeks clapping. There's a lack of cheek clapping occurring, but there could be a number of reasons for that. It could be positional. It could be a size thing. I'm just saying, there was no clapping of cheeks, and that did make me slightly suspicious. Slightly suspicious at the beginning of my investigation, but by the end of my investigation, I was very confident that Shannon Sharpe actually did get it in.
How many times have you watched that video?
That Unc did get it in. I'd say like 5.
Okay. That's the number you're going with?
I'm typically... No, I'm not exaggerating. 5 from front to back. And I'm typically the one in my friend group who's like, you know, in my text group, I'm like the one who introduces stories like this, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who's perpetually online for work.
Right.
So I threw it in there, and like when we were talking about it, I had to watch it again, right, to get more context, obviously.
Of course.
And then I kept seeing more stuff, like more people pointing out like the name Michelle. So I was like, oh, I got to go back and listen again. I gotta make sure I hear that and confirm that for my own personal investigation. And yeah, all that being said, it was some fun online yesterday. There's a lot of not fun occurring right now on the internet. This was a breath of fresh air. And right when we needed it too, man. Because we had the presidential debate.
Absolute shitstorm.
People
on
are
Twitter.
it's nasty out there. We had Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters making an announcement publicly that he had a child out of wedlock, and that he's going to try to raise it and be a good father. That was.
I didn't see that, but
you a Foo Fighters guy? You care much
Foo
about
Fighters? Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't. That wasn't on my Twitter feed.
Dave Grohl has been one of my favorite musicians for a long time.
He
was the drummer in Nirvana.
Okay, yeah.
Started Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters has a bunch of classic songs. They're great performers. Seems like a genuinely good dude. But then, like, he's married with kids, and then he did this weirdly announced it, like, publicly on Instagram. Again, social media. The different kind of announcement. But that he, like, had a kid. Anyway, there was all this negativity online, and then the Shannon Sharpe Instagram Live fiasco occurred, and I was like, thank you. Yes, something good that we can all get behind.
Something that we can all laugh at, yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. As I speak, we are drawing ever closer to escaping the summer heat and entering fall. Alas, there are at least a couple more weeks of facing down the smoking hot sun here in Texas, which means it's still incredibly important to stay hydrated and keep your body loaded up with liquids to fight the heat. Fortunately, today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Liquid IV hydrates you with benefits like electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients in a single stick. It is clear why Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. Liquid IV is as easy as it gets. You simply tear open one of the convenient packets, pour it into 16 ounces of water, shake or stir, depending on your preference, and enjoy the hydrating power of Liquid IV with a refreshing beverage that tastes fantastic. Taking care of yourself is important. Keeping yourself hydrated is a vital and crucial part of taking care of yourself, and Liquid IV is here to make sure that hydration is easier to achieve than ever. If you're like me and sometimes you're too busy or too forgetful to remember to drink enough water every day, Liquid IV makes getting your daily hydration in simple and more delicious. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. 8 vitamins and nutrients, non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. No artificial colors or sweeteners. 4 delicious sugar-free flavors: white peach, green grape, raspberry melon, and lemon lime. A zero-sugar hydration solution with no artificial sweeteners, clinically tested to hydrate more than water alone. Turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com.
Grab your light, this is Stop the Wikipedia when you're high.
Stop the Wikipedia when you're high.
All right, we got a good one today. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter. If you're new here, Stuff the Wikipedia When You're High is a segment we do of Wikipedia articles that would be fun to read when you're high. It's pretty
straightforward title. Yeah.
Self-explanatory. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, also known as the Hopkinsville Goblins case or Kelly Green Men case, was a claimed close encounter with extraterrestrial beings that occurred near the communities of Kelly and Hopkinsville in Christian County, Kentucky, during the night and early morning of August 21st and 22nd, 1955. This is a throwback. What is that, 45, 60, 69 years ago, I think? Did that math?
77? Oh, yeah, no, 69.
Did that math work? Did I do that?
Yeah, your math is mathing.
Look at me. UFOologists refer to it as one of the most significant and well-documented cases in the history of UFO incidents, while skeptics say the reports were due to the effects of excitement and misidentification of natural phenomena such as meteors and owls. We'll get to how that could possibly be. The United States Air Force classified the alleged incident as a hoax in the Project Blue Book files. And I believe the Project Blue Book is where they, keep record of all the potential UFO extraterrestrial activity. It's a declassified thing, the code name for the systematic study of unidentified flying objects by the United States Air Force from March 1952 to December 17, 1969. So that's what Project Blue Book is. Psychologists have used the alleged incident as an academic example of pseudoscience to help students distinguish truth from fiction, which is something we need now perhaps more than ever. On the evening of August 21st, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children arrived at the Hopkinsville police station claiming that small alien creatures from a spaceship were attacking their farmhouse and that they had been holding them off with gunfire for nearly 4 hours. Now, that's an important part of the story. So these people show up, 5 adults, 7 children. It's 1955. They show up to the police station and they're like, "We need help. Aliens are taking over our farmhouse. We've been unloading on them for 4 hours." So they're just like, "Reload!" Keep shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are the kids involved in this too? The kids are strapped.
Kids, get your guns. Yeah, I think everybody's just out there just shooting, right?
Shooting the aliens, yeah.
So 2 of the adults, Elmer Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor, claimed they had been shooting at a few short, dark figures who repeatedly popped up at the doorway or peered into the windows. The Kentucky New Era, the first paper to report on the incident, amplified that number to 12 to 15. Rather than it just being a few short, dark figures, it was 12 to 15. And that number continues to be reported, which just shows you how, the grapevine can be a very bad thing. Concerned about a possible gun battle between local citizens, in response to them showing up to the police station, they send 4 city police officers, 5 state troopers, 3 deputy sheriffs, and 4 military police officers from the nearby United States Army Fort Campbell, who drive out to the Sutton farmhouse located near the town of Kelly in Christian County. That is a hell of a fucking squad they sent out there. They weren't just like, let's get all the cops.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we don't just need cops. We need state troopers, we need sheriffs, we need regular police officers, we need 4 military police officers, everybody's represented here. Their search at the farmhouse yielded nothing apart from evidence of gunfire, holes in windows, and door screens made by firearms. Residents of the farmhouse included Glennie Langford, her children, Lonnie, Charlton, and Mary, two sons from a previous marriage, Elmer, otherwise known as Lucky Sutton, and John Charlie Sutton, known as JC. Their respective wives, Vera and Aileen. That's not Eileen.
It's not alien either.
Aileen. Alene. Aileen's brother was there, O.P. Baker.
Love how you have a little country accent on all these
Opie.
names.
And then Billy Ray Taylor and his wife, June. Yeah, because these are the most country fucking bumpkin names possible, bro. This is a ridiculous group of people. So both the Taylors, Lucky and Vera Sutton, were reportedly, what is this, itinerant? They were carnival workers, okay?
Yeah, I don't know what
They're
that
carnies.
Yeah.
The people are carnies, and they're visiting the farmhouse. The next day, neighbors told two officers that the families had packed up and left after claiming the creatures had returned about 3:30 in the morning. So apparently they were just like, we can't fucking stay here anymore. They came back. We're not just going to unload for 4 hours. This time we're out. The family's claims received widespread coverage in local and national press. Early articles did not refer to little green men. The color was later added to some newspaper stories. And it's my understanding that this is like, you know, you've heard little green men before as like a way to refer to aliens, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the origin of that.
This is how
This
it all started,
particular
because there
story.
weren't like, you know, many like alien UFO sightings back then.
Yeah, that's like in terms of publicizing and making these fantastical stories, I think this is like a past 50 years, like I guess what do we say, 69 years thing. Estimates of the size of the alleged creatures varied from 2 to 4 feet, and details such as large pointed ears, claw-like hands, eyes that glowed yellow, and spindly legs later appeared in various media. Now, psychologists Rodney Schmaltz and Scott Lilienfeld cite the alleged incident as an example of pseudoscience and an extraordinary claim to help students develop critical thinking skills. Although contemporary newspaper stories reported that all officials appeared to agree that there was no drinking involved, Schmaltz and Lilienfeld suggest that intoxication may have played a part in the sighting, which would shock.
Wait, so they were saying...
wouldn't shock me. They might have just been fucked up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then a Committee for Skeptical Inquiry member and skeptic Joe Nickel notes that the family could have misidentified what are called eagle owls or great horned owls, which are nocturnal, they fly silently, they have yellow eyes, and they aggressively defend their nests. And according to Nickel, meteor sightings also occurred at the time that could explain Billy Ray Taylor's claim that he saw a bright light streak across the sky and disappear beyond a tree line some distance from the house. And then I'll just finish this up and then we can talk about what might have happened. Author Brian Dunning noted that the height of the owls would be comparable to at least the lower end of the reported range of around 2 feet. Quote, there are simply too many similarities between the creatures reported by the families and an aggressive pair of the local great horned owls, which do stand about 2/3 of a meter tall. So what it sounds like happened is, at least, you know, as a result of my investigation, what I think might have happened.
The Skidder Ross back on the scene again.
These carnies are all drunk.
Yep.
They're out drinking, probably already have guns on them, because, you know, you got to shoot stuff
shoot
when
shit
you're
when you're
fucked
drunk,
up.
yeah.
A meteor goes by, because a meteor was reported. They're like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? And they look over at the barn and they see eyes.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yellow eyes,
fucking
yeah.
aliens. And they just start unloading. And 4 hours later, they're like, we got to go to the cops. But it was just owls. It sounds like it was just these
Yeah, it was
great
definitely
horned
just owls. Yep.
So it was just like a coincidental meteor.
Or maybe owls are aliens, actually.
They are pretty freaky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they turn like their head like all the way around. Like that's some
Yeah.
like alien shit.
Some exorcist shit, too.
Yeah.
I saved an owl last year.
What?
Did you know that?
No.
I didn't
You
talk about this on the show?
No, I don't think so.
There was a small owl downed in my backyard. And
Oh, no.
when I let my dogs out, the large dog immediately went after it. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, I saved this owl, and I had to call the animal protection people. I don't remember what they were called. And they came out.
The APP?
And they picked animal protection people. And they picked up the owl, and it was injured. And they like took it back and nursed it back to health, and then they released it back into the wild, and then it made a whole owl family. I made up the last part, but the rest of that really happened. I saved an owl.
You saved it now, yeah.
So maybe I saved an alien, and when the aliens come down, they'll take mercy
They'll remember
on me.
that. Yeah.
They'll know. I'm one of the
They
good
won't
guys.
vaporize you.
Yeah.
Immediately. They'll just make you one of your sex slaves.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Anyway, that's our stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
But like this, like I don't know, because we always hear about like UFO and alien sightings, but like we've never really gotten like a good like picture of it ever. Like it's always like dog shit. So it's like
Yeah.
and like I definitely do believe like there's something else out there like aliens and shit, but it's like
You don't think we're alone, Kade?
absolutely not, dude. I mean, the universe is fucking huge.
Yeah, mathematically, it's unlikely.
Yeah. And so I definitely think there's stuff out there. It's just like it's crazy that like especially with the technology we have now, we still like don't have anything really.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people assume that any aliens that may or may not exist, their technology is like so far ahead of ours,
Yeah.
and that in all likelihood they would be very, 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 very far away. And also, my stance is like, if let's just say aliens do exist, because like you said, we don't have any good pictures of aliens. We do have some good footage more recently of weird, inexplicable flying objects, UFOs.
Yeah.
Like, remember during the pandemic, they just started dropping like videos. The Air
Yeah,
Force was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, we saw another one." It was just like, and everybody just like swept it under the rug.
No one cared. Yeah, 'cause
dealing
what's
with the
going on,
pandemic.
Yeah.
We do have good videos of UFOs, but also like there are so many countries in this world now that have, that are technologically advanced and have an Air Force or their version of it. We don't know what everybody has. China's sending fucking air balloons to spy on people and shit. So no, we've never had like a real confirmed case of like alien life. And my reasoning there is that the aliens, if they're out there and did look into us, would take 20 minutes looking into the happenings on Earth and be like, nope.
Not for just fly by us.
Yeah, what do you?
But I feel like we'd also be like so easy to take over too. Like if they really wanted to.
I don't know, man. We have like a lot of guns and shit and firepower.
Yeah, but like if they're so
collectively as a world,
technologically advanced than us, and like they would have stuff to like stop bullets or whatever.
maybe they're just a peaceful people.
Yeah, we haven't come across any of that like just want to like take over the universe yet.
Maybe they're part of the animal protection people, the APP.
The APP.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I'm a huge fan of live music. Going to concerts and attending live sporting events, there's no better way to make lasting memories, and there's nowhere better to get tickets for all the aforementioned than Game Time. Some of you may remember several weeks ago I used Game Time to get my wife a birthday present, tickets to a Niall Horan concert where we had a blast. Game Time has a new feature. It is called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets for concerts and events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste so much time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time makes getting tickets for concerts and events faster and easier. Even if you don't buy tickets right away, prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying concert tickets. I've got the Game Time app pulled up right now. And right now in Austin, I can grab tickets to, obviously, Texas football, but also Texas State football. Shout out to State. Eat 'em up Cats. Also the Round Rock Express, Moto America Superbikes, Austin FC. So lots of sports stuff. F1 Grand Prix at the Circuit of America is coming up next month, just a little over a month from now. Post Malone is going to be here soon. Usher.
Oh, you big Usher guy, aren't you?
Huge Usher fan, yeah. This is my confession. They got a ton of live comedy shows here in Austin as well. Game Time has it all, makes it incredibly easy to find and buy tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Game Time is also extremely helpful just to keep up with all the events in your area. See what's happening tonight, see what's coming up on the calendar. Grab last-minute tickets if you're feeling spontaneous. Also, they hit you with flash deals, zone deals. You can check out the view from all of the seats in the venue before you purchase so you won't be bamboozled. With last-minute deals, you save up to 60% off buying last-minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Game Time also offers lowest price guarantees, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and so much more. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code BOLIN, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BOLEN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. I've got an insane headline of the day to take us out. You familiar with Bon Jovi?
Yeah, I know some Bon Jovi. I got a few of his songs.
I feel like everybody knows.
You definitely have heard a Bon Jovi song.
Like Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
You know?
One in
Which is
Dead or Alive.
very relevant to our story we're about to cover. Here's your headline from the BBC. John Bon Jovi talks woman out of jumping off bridge. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's not like a loophole that it was like a bridge that wasn't going to kill her. This was a suicide attempt.
Yeah.
From the BBC, rock legend John Bon Jovi has been praised by police for helping a woman in distress who was on the ledge of a bridge in Nashville, Tennessee on Tuesday night. The Metropolitan Nashville Police Department shared a video of the Bon Jovi frontman and his team who were at the John Siegenthaler pedestrian bridge when the woman was standing precariously over the Cumberland River. Bon Jovi, who's 62 years old, and others talked to the woman and helped her come back onto the bridge, police said. John Drake, one of the cops, said it takes all of us to help keep each other safe, which is true. Bon Jovi appeared to be in Nashville shooting a music video on the bridge, according to separate footage posted on social media. In the video released by police, a woman in blue can be seen holding onto the railing while standing on the ledge. So she's doing what like Jenny in Forrest Gump did.
Wait, what scene was that?
Maybe it wasn't a bridge. It was her like apartment balcony ledge. She stands up there in like high heels and she's like on heroin. She's like, I'm going to fucking end it. And she like slips a little bit and then she like talks herself out of it.
John Bon Jovi comes in
And
and,
then
he's like, hey, come on down.
And he pulls her down.
Yeah.
It says other people pass her and slightly further down the bridge, Bon Jovi's team appears to be setting up camera equipment. So they're just like getting ready for a music video shoot and Bon Jovi's like,
What's going on over there?
pretty sure that lady's about to kill herself. So Bon Jovi walks over to the woman with someone else as his team stands further away. The singer can then be seen waving hello at her. See? The power of waving hello.
Yeah.
And then leaning on the railing near her. He was probably so cool about it, too. She's like, what's up?
How's it going?
Having a rough day?
Yeah. Do you think she knew that it was like Bon Jovi or...
He's pretty distinct.
Yeah. See, I feel like I would have no idea if I saw.
I think it would take you a minute. Maybe not you, but for my generation, like if you saw Bon Jovi, even in his old age now, he looks pretty much the exact fucking same as he did like 30 years ago, except his hair is white instead of like, you know, dirty blonde.
Yeah.
It says other people walk over after the woman is safe, and Bon Jovi embraces her in a hug. A few minutes later, the police footage shows Bon Jovi leaving the bridge with her, which makes it sound like he like picked her up and took her home to make an Instagram Live. Accompanying the video on social media, Metro Nashville Police Department said, quote, a shout out to John Bon Jovi and his team for helping a woman on the bridge on Tuesday night. Bon Jovi helped persuade her to come off the ledge over the Cumberland River to safety. Bon Jovi's out there saving fucking lives, kid.
Saving lives. Wow. Look at him. Making music videos and saving lives.
Who would have guessed it? Speaking of music, it was announced that Kendrick Lamar will be doing the Super Bowl now.
Saw that.
And another blow to Drake fans who are actually invested in the back and forth between the two of them. The funniest part of this, to me, was after the announcement. Of course, all these Drake fans are like, what the fuck? And Kendrick fans are stoked in this. It's almost exactly like Republicans and Democrats.
Yep.
You have to pick a side. This is the way these people look at it.
Yeah.
You could have to pick one or the other, and then no matter what, you'd never admit your guy lost.
Mm-hmm.
And you always find a slant and an angle to dismiss any type of damage that is done. But Drake and Kendrick aside, the bigger point was the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. So all these people on the internet were upset, including Nicki Minaj and Birdman, that Lil Wayne was not the headlining artist, which for anybody who is plugged in enough to the music industry and live performances was not a shocking thing at all. One, as you and I discussed off mic, Kade, Wayne doesn't have a lot of radio-friendly hits.
No, he does not.
He has to bleep out large portions of the song.
He talks about pussy in 99% of his songs.
He's the pussy monster.
Yeah.
It's what he does. You know?
Him and Shannon Sharpe, pussy monsters.
Just out there getting it. But on top of that, Lil Wayne is not known anymore, if he ever was, as a particularly good live performer. Admittedly, The man has said repeatedly over the past 20 years that he does not know the lyrics to a lot of his own songs. He can be seen in lots of concert footage on stage with the microphone in one hand and his fucking cell
or
phone
he'll
in
have
the
like
other.
a little teleprompter like in front of
Giving him the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't remember. Because one, he doesn't write his lyrics.
Yeah,
he's
he's
basically
just
going in and freestyling songs, which is it's a popular method. It's like what Juice WRLD did that, but Hove, Jay-Z is the one who like really popularized it. And it's not just to give a little more context, it's originally when I heard this about guys like Jay-Z, I was like, that's fucking crazy. They can just go in and like freestyle a hit song. Mm-hmm. It's not really how it works. They're basically letting the beat loop and they're flowing, but stopping repeatedly and starting repeatedly and doing this for like, in some cases hours until they have enough good lines and then they piece it all together. So it's not one cohesive freestyle.
Right.
On the other hand, Juice WRLD did cohesively freestyle some of his hit songs. It's what made him like such a freak show. Anybody that, Benny Blanco, who is now dating
Selena
Gomez, he has said openly that like watching Juice WRLD record was crazy. But we're getting off topic here. The point is, Lil Wayne was never ever going to be the Super Bowl headliner, and anyone who knows him well enough knows that would have been a fucking terrible, terrible idea. Yeah. A disaster.
I mean, like maybe in like 07, 08 when he was like at the peak, like that would have been great to see, but like
and even then, it would have needed to be like a group effort thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody knows if Kendrick maybe planned to bring Lil Wayne out. Like they have a song together and stuff. It wouldn't be appropriate for the Super Bowl, but they do have a song together. They could have figured out a way to make it like just one verse or something, and splice it together or some shit. Now on the other hand, while Wayne is a much more traditional rap live performer, meaning not great live. A lot of rappers are not good at doing live shows. Kendrick is on the opposite end of the spectrum. He does an incredibly complex and more like
he just
theatrical performance.
Yeah, like I've seen him twice at ACL, and he put on a great show, and like his Big Steppers tour like grossed the most for like a rap tour ever.
The second biggest hip hop tour in history behind Drake.
Yeah. So like he knows how to put on a good show, and like he's done the Super Bowl before, so like they all know that he can do it. Like,
yeah, he did one
or two
songs during the Dr. Dre, West Coast, Eminem, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige Super Bowl was a couple years ago, right? Yeah. He can hold his own up there, and nobody doubts that. What will be interesting with Kendrick is to see what songs he picks, because you need the Super Bowl to be lit. He can't be doing like Mother I Sober on the fucking
I really
Super
hope
Bowl,
he starts
bro.
with that one. That'd be great.
And people are obviously also debating like whether or not he'll do Not Like Us.
Yeah.
And like, no, that's... I guess it's possible, but it would be the most shocking and hilarious moment in the history of music. You can't do a song accusing your arch rival of being a pedophile on the Super Bowl stage. I don't think you can anyway. That's just...
But he still might, because like that song is like so popular. Like it's hard to like not do it.
It's a banger, Kade.
It is a banger. It absolutely is.
But man, that would be a really fucked up move.
Yeah, like
I just don't even. My angle is you don't get on the Super Bowl stage and give your most hated rival attention in that moment.
Yeah, you want to make it about like yourself,
you and your catalog, and don't put the shine on anybody else, even if that shine is negative. Like it would not really make sense to me. I do not think that they will be doing that. But yeah, people were all up in arms about Wayne, and I was just like, what the fuck are you even...
Yeah, and like I don't even know...
bullshit. It was like Nicki Minaj saw it as her opportunity to get on the fucking Super Bowl stage. Let's be real.
Right, yeah.
The only way Nicki's ever getting on a Super Bowl stage is if Lil Wayne is the headliner. Mm-hmm. And he brings her up.
Right.
Which now is not going to happen. But it never was. And she kind of sucks. Nicki Minaj is kind of a toxic bitch. Based on my investigation. Which is...
Well, is that because you're a stallion?
Partially.
Yeah. Because they have beef.
I'm a hottie, Kade.
Oh, sorry,
we don't call ourselves stallions.
Because she's the stallion.
We call ourselves hotties.
Okay. Yeah.
We're hotties.
Yeah. I'm a hottie too. I love the stallion. Yeah, she's
good,
great.
Good. Nicki Minaj has some good songs. Don't get me wrong. Great rapper, but she seems like a terrible piece of shit human. based on my investigation, which is conclusive. So Yeah, I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan.
Yeah.
I also think Birdman is a sleazy piece of shit.
Well, yeah, he fucked over Wayne too, and
Pretty sure he had him shot at. So yeah,
and shot it. Yeah, so no, Birdman's not a great person. Like
that squad, YMCMB,
yeah,
is in
Young Money,
shambles,
Cash
bro.
Money, yeah.
They're in shambles. Like that whole thing is a fucking train wreck now.
And like so, like Jay-Z, he's kind of the one that like
He basically gives the city a few options.
yes,
And they pick.
yeah.
It
But
sounds
people
like.
were saying like, oh, Jay-Z like single-handedly like picked Kendrick over Wayne to get back at Wayne for something. I don't know what.
It's gone so
And it's
off
just-
the rails
And
now,
that's the
yeah.
thing with like, I was so excited like when I saw like they announced Kendrick was performing. Like I saw the video and everything. Like it looked super sick too. Like it was very like minimal, but like it just like looked tight.
was cool.
With like the big American flag and like he was like he had the
Putting footballs into the fucking
yeah, I
football
was talking
shooter.
to someone. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking to?
Yeah.
And my mom was like, oh, is he like talking to Drake or some shit like that? but yeah, so like, so yeah, people were saying like, oh, Jay-Z like picked Kendrick to get back at Wayne for something, but like Jay-Z and Wayne are completely fine from what I know. Like, there's no reason
Apparently,
for
Jay-Z paid Lil Wayne's back taxes at one point.
You're right, yeah.
He was
That was, like, the one thing I
$14 million
saw.
in the
Yeah.
hole, and like Hove took care of it or something.
Yeah.
It just is mostly nonsense, garbage, and all the negativity around this obviously comes from the fact that there are a lot of Drake fans that are still butthurt about what happened,
Yeah.
and they're pissed about this.
But then it's like the Kendrick fans, they try to spin it to make, and they're like shitting on Wayne too, like trying to like discredit him as a rapper and stuff. I'm just like,
and that's not okay.
no, like yeah, his being a performer or whatever, like as of recent, like that's whatever. Like I understand that, but like yeah, they're just like. Someone said like, "Oh, you guys want to hear 6 foot, 7 foot at the Super Bowl?" I'm like, "What? Like, you wouldn't want to hear that? Like, that song goes so hard."
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. But like, they just like it should be about Kendrick, not about all these other people
Yeah.
that like he may or may not have beefs with. And like, it's just like I don't like Kendrick stans. Like, I feel like there's a difference between the two. But like, the people that are just like you said, like you're on his side and like you have to like ride for him, like no matter what. You can't admit you lost or you're in the wrong or anything like that, and you just like, yeah, they rub me the wrong way now. And it's like I had to mute Kendrick's and Drake's name on Twitter, and I only have it for like 30 days because I'm like, oh, I'll be over by then. Like I won't be seeing stuff
like
anymore.
fucking
And then
3
this
months
happens.
later.
I'm like, oh fuck, I guess I gotta go back and mute the word again, which sucks. 'Cause I want to see stuff about these guys, but like not all the bullshit takes and narratives that you guys try to spin. Like it's so annoying.
Oh, they're great. I'm endlessly entertained by all this. The other name that got dragged into it was Kanye. People were like, Ye would do the greatest Super Bowl performance of all time. And again, I'm like, yo, the only person who could possibly argue that would be somebody who's so unplugged from current day Kanye West that you literally have no idea that he's doing shows in Japan for like 100,000 people where he's out there with a microphone and he doesn't even do the songs.
Yeah,
he just
we've
dances
seen him-
around like a fucking idiot for like 2 hours.
We've seen him, do all these like live performances or like
that aren't live
album-
performances.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, he has like his mask on or whatever,
And he's
like,
just out
not-
there dancing, doing the same fucking dance every time and not singing the songs.
Yeah, like his time to do a Super Bowl show has passed. Like
It's
that
over.
window's gone.
And that's if you're not even, this is not even considering all the insane anti-Semitic, Hitler-loving shit that he spewed. Even if you were able to remove that, which you can't, he still isn't that guy anymore. And nobody who's ever seen Kanye West live would trust him with a microphone on the world's biggest stage musically. That's fucking not a thing anymore. Even at his old shows 15 years ago, he would get on there and ramble for 30 minutes into the microphone about he was like the next Walt Disney and Walt Disney never had a bad bitch like Kim Kardashian and shit. Like he would say the craziest shit you've ever heard, and that was a long time before he went all the way off the rails. So yeah, it's not
It would
happening.
be such a shit show, but like I would also love to see that. Like
I just mean
unravel.
it's like to do the Super Bowl, you have to be a sort of brand safe,
right.
corporate backing, acceptable act, which Kanye West waved bye-bye to long ago. And frankly, Lil Wayne almost never really even had that. Remember,
No.
like Drake lost a Sprite deal because Wayne wouldn't stop pouring up lean into Sprite. So that was not ever really like an option, but it's fun. Like the outrage, just a rare example of when the outrage culture entertained me, because I was like, these people are just saying nonsense. This is all ridiculous. These arguments are crazy. And Jay-Z's line about you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain, which is obviously from The Dark Knight, but he put it in a song many, many, many years ago. It was so correct. Because he mostly just gets hated on now. There's all this like, fuck Jay-Z, got in bed with the NFL, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It's like, yeah, well, this is where he's at in life.
Yeah, he's not doing albums anymore.
He's like 50 fucking years old,
he's got
man.
other more important shit to do.
He's 54. What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
He's a billionaire.
And also, like...
He's in a walking club with the founder of Twitch, Jack...
He does a walking club?
What's the founder of Twitch's name? Twitter, excuse me. Jack Dorsey. Hove is in a walking club with Jack Dorsey.
Wow.
They walk and nobody gets sucked on. It's not like your run club.
It's not like the run clubs. No one's sucking a fucking
It's a bunch of billionaires, like 10 deep, walking around a neighborhood. That's where Hope is at in life. So I don't understand these people who are like, fuck Jay-Z. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm excited for the halftime show. Like, it's going to be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's
funny.
funny.
I won't be on Twitter after because I won't be able to.
Or during, yeah. It was, back when I was a kid, the Super Bowl halftime performances were always like washed up bands. I don't mean that disrespectfully necessarily, but like
they weren't in their prime anymore.
No, it was always at the end of the road.
Yeah.
At the end of your career.
Like, hey, let's get the band back together first.
Even Prince.
Yeah.
You know, one of the greatest musicians and performers of all time. Like, but he didn't do the Super Bowl until like he was like basically fucking retired. But they used to have, it would be like Aerosmith and like Britney Spears would come out like with
Who?
Yeah, it was all like old rock
like
bands,
who?
man. Like, and they never paid a single fucking second of attention to like hip hop culture for the most part. Because I always remember being like, man, can't they get a fucking rapper up there?
Yeah, can you get like 50 Cent?
Like, come on. Yeah, seriously though. Like,
we couldn't do Eminem. That'd be
not by himself, no. But now it's like the last 4 or 5 we've had. It's just like strictly hip hop.
Yeah, rap and R&B and stuff.
And that is because of Jay-Z. So for all the Jay-Z haters out there, it's like, we're only getting this because of him. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a complicated issue. I understand that. But we don't have time to walk through all of it today and get through the Colin Kaepernick side of it and all of that. So we won't, Kade. We won't. We'll simply say that that'll do it for today's show. But we will be back tomorrow on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast with an ad-free exclusive episode where Kade and I take hotline calls from the RBP gang, answer questions, listen to stories and respond to them, etc., so on and so forth. We do it every week on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast. Get in there, sign up now. And if you go now, you can get a 7-day free trial to check out the hundreds of exclusive ad-free episodes we have put up on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast over the last several years. Enjoy the 7-day free trial, then stick around on Patreon to support our show and be a part of making sure the show can go on. Also, please support our sponsors by hitting the links in the description of this episode and all our episodes, and using the dedicated codes that are provided there as well. That is how we pay the bills here at Bolin Media. You can find links to today's 2 sponsors in the description of this episode below. Check out our other shows, Formula Bone. If you love F1, Jared J-Bone Borislow gives you the latest in the world of F1 every single week. The greatest American F1 content creator in existence, J-Bone. At Formula Bone on social media. You can watch full episodes on youtube.com/@FormulaBone. If you're a Houston sports fan, check out Banging the Can, hosted by me. In this week's episode, I recap and discuss the Houston Texans' Week 1 performance against Cade's Indianapolis Colts, which was actually a great game, Kade.
It was.
And on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles this week, Barrett and I covered The Batman, 2022's Robert Pattinson-led The Batman, in preparation for The Penguin, which is premiering on HBO next Thursday. This episode of RBP is presented by Bolin Media. Video of today's show is produced by Kade Orris. Go to youtube.com/@the-Ross-Bolin podcast to watch full video of our show. Follow Kade on Instagram and Twitter at Kade Orris. That's Kade with a Kadeorris. And follow me at WR Bolin. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you and also with you.